Hello and welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz. I am a mother, a military wife, and a lover of all things life. That being said, because we are a military family, today's video is going to touch on a topic that's sort of a rite of passage as far as military families are concerned, and that is PCS, or permanent change of station. So if you don't know, that is when the military sends you to move from one place to another. So the goal today is to kind of give you a quick overview of what to expect as far as the PCS process. And then from there, I'm gonna have a whole series of videos with 6-month checklist, 3-month checklist, cleaning, different things like that to kind of help you get ready for the PCS process if you are doing that. One of the reasons why I've been doing this is, one, because we are a military family, and so I want to share the little bit of wisdom that I have already garnered in the 7 years that my husband and I have been married. My husband has been in the Army for 9 years, and this will be our 4th PCS. And yes, I said this because in a couple of months we will be actually moving across country from California to Virginia. So my goal is to take you along during that time. So I am so happy that you landed here on my video. I hope that you'll stick around, subscribe, make sure that you check out the description below, because I like to make printables and checklists. I'm kind of weird like that. So there could be some checklists, printables. There will definitely be one in the next 2 weeks when I do the 6-month checklist that you can print out for the free. I'm all about the free, right? So make sure that you check those things out. There will also be helpful links in the description as far as different military moving websites. Some of the things that I'm going to say might not make sense to you because maybe you're a service member or you are in a different branch of the military. So I know that terminology differs from one branch to the other. We are an Army family, but that being said, basically everybody's going to have to go through certain processes, right? You're going to get orders. You're going to have to go to briefings. You're going to have to talk to finance and different things like that. Just the names or the process or maybe the order in which you do it might be different based on your branch. So hopefully this overview helps you. So that being said, let's jump on into PCS orders. You got them. Now what? All right, so first things first, you receive your orders. And so not you, the service member would receive the orders, obviously. But how do they receive orders? Normally they will come in email form, maybe their S1 or their HR. People will alert them, command could alert them. Also, they can check their SRB, which is kind of back end within the military, so they can find out whether or not they are, on orders, right? Once they see that they are on orders or receive that first initial email, these are what we call soft orders. So you can jump for joy that you're leaving this current installation. You could cry because you're sad to leave there. Whatever it is, go through that gamut of emotions and then realize that these are soft orders. And so what that means is that they are subject to change. They could change. They could stay the same, So don't make any permanent decisions based on those soft orders, right? We don't want to go out and purchase a house and then the military changes it up on us and moves us somewhere else. So that's just something to be aware of. But once those soft orders are received, the service member will go ahead and schedule their different briefings that they have to attend. In the Army, it is called a levy brief. And so in that levy brief, they go over a couple of different things. So they're going to go over the different paperwork that they have to fill out, right? All of the information. You want to make sure that dependents are listed on those orders so that the military authorizes you to move your family to the next duty station. Also during the levy brief, I am looking at my notebook because I don't want to miss things that I wanted to tell you guys, right? They're going to tell you about having a sponsor. I'm not sure if this is just an Army thing, but depending on rank, you are required to have a sponsor at your gaining duty station. And so it's just somebody to contact, somebody that's going to make sure that you make it all right, that's going to kind of show you. They don't necessarily show you around the installation. We haven't really had a super helpful sponsor except for one time, but they just kind of greet you, answer your questions, tell you about your gaining unit, different things like that. So you definitely want to reach out for a sponsor. In the Army, again, you have to have a sponsor depending on your rank, so you want to sign up for that. The next thing is that an early report date could be requested. Those soft orders is just going to have general information like your name, the place that you're going, the report date, right, when you have to be there by. You could request an earlier report date, and there's a variety of reasons as to why somebody, a service member or their family members, would want an earlier report date. For us specifically, our orders said October 20th. We have a daughter who is going to turn 6 over the summer and will be going into 1st grade. We don't want her to have to start 1st grade here in California, and then a month or 2 later, we're uprooting her and moving and putting her in a brand new school when they have already started, right? So that's why we have requested an earlier report date and are requesting to report in August, because their schools don't start until September. So that's just another reason, or one of the reasons why you might request an earlier report date. Your reasons may vary. If the service member specifically re-enlisted or extended in their contract for that duty station, then they would have to go through a slightly different process. For requesting an earlier report date, they have to go through retention, whoever their retention NCO is, to get that request taken care of. But it is possible. We've done it before. We're doing it now. We're just waiting on the approval for that earlier report date. Like I said, you will fill out all the different documentation. You will submit that documentation, usually during your levy brief, or maybe your installation will have you turn it in somewhere else. And then shortly after that, you should receive hard orders. You will not, however, receive hard orders prior to 180 days, I believe, before your report date, right? So just keep that in mind. They're not going to give you those hard orders any earlier than about 6 months before your report date. So just be aware of that. As soon as you get those hard orders, one, you're going to check the accuracy, make sure all of your administrative information is correct, name, rank, social, all those things. Make sure the report date is correct. Make sure the duty station is correct. Make sure they have all of your dependents listed on there, okay? So you want to check through all of those things to make sure it's correct, and then contact household goods. What is household goods? Those are the people that are responsible for moving all of the stuff in your home from your current duty station to your new duty station. You want to do this ASAP. Why? Because most people are moving in the summer. So especially if you get a summer report date, you want to get into household goods fast, because they're going to be limited as far as when they can pick up your goods, when they can ship them, when they can pack and move you, right? So you want to get in there. You don't want to have the worst case scenario where one person has to stay behind for the packers, or you're waiting for a whole month for your household goods to get to your new duty station, right? Those are things we're trying to avoid. So get to household goods as soon as possible after receiving your hard orders, at least to get that scheduled, okay? So then after all of that, you will most likely have to attend some sort of finance briefing. And during that finance briefing, they are going to explain all of the different allowances, the reimbursements that you're eligible for, and all that information. I recommend that you as a spouse attend that finance briefing if you are allowed and if you are able to. Me? Girl, I gotta know everything, okay? So I can ask my husband 1,000 questions and he'll answer them for me, but I'm like, are you sure? Let me see, where was that in writing? I need to know this for sure, right? So if I can go to a finance briefing, I'm gonna sit down because I wanna know how much money are we receiving to complete this move. Moves are expensive, right? And you are gonna have to come out of pocket for some things. So you just want to be aware of those things. I wanna know what we have to have receipts for, what we don't have to have receipts for, right? Because I'm not trying to miss out on any money. So there's a couple of allowances and entitlements that you have. There is DLA, which is the dislocation allowance. That is based on the service member's rank and whether or not they have dependents. That's just an amount that's paid to you. You are not required to pay it back. It's meant to kind of offset the cost, or partially, they say partially, they specifically say partially reimburse you for the expenses of moving, okay? So that is something that you receive regardless. Then you have TLE, which is temporary lodging expenses. That is reimbursement for lodging that you pay for. You are allotted up to 10 days during your PCS 10 days worth of lodging, right? So if you stay in a hotel for longer than 10 days, you're coming out of pocket for that. So just be aware of that. They give you a specific amount that you cannot go over, and they will only reimburse you up to that specific amount. You are required to have lodging receipts in order to be reimbursed for that. If you don't have your receipts, you're not going to be reimbursed. So let's make sure we save those receipts. The next thing is per diem. So they don't pay per diem for every single person. It's all kind of on a percentage basis, and you can find that information again for the Army on dfast.mil. I will link it below for you. Then another thing is mileage. If you are driving your own vehicle, then they will reimburse you for the mileage, a specific like cents. I think it's like 58 cents. It could be less than that. I'm not entirely sure. But a certain amount of cents per mile they will pay you for driving across country. If you're driving 2 cars, they're going to pay you for each car, all right? So just be aware of those things too. So the finance briefing is going to break down all of the monies for it. Again, I strongly encourage you to be there. It's going to help you with creating a budget for this PCS. It's going to help you, again, to stay on track of your finances as you PCS. You might also want to get into touch with the housing if you live on a military installation. It's possible that they have a list of kind of their charges, their move-out charges, so that you can kind of take a look around your house and say, yeah, that's a carpet stain that we're probably going to have to pay for. Let me budget for that. Let me save for that. Maybe your installation does a pay and go, which is pretty cool. Some places do that. Sometimes they rip you off. Whatever. That's a different video, where basically you don't have to clean. You get all your stuff out of the house and you pay a certain amount of money and they're just going to clean it for you. It doesn't matter. They're obviously going to charge you for damages, but that way you don't even have to stress about cleaning. So I would ask housing, do they have a copy of that so that you can start working on saving up money for those things, because you got to come out of pocket for those things as well. Some of the other things that you want to do is look into ACS classes, and it's called ACS in the military. I think it's Army Community Service is or in the Army. It's called Army Community Services. And so they can have PCS classes, right? So you can go to classes on your installation for building a PCS budget, for what to expect, for the things that you need to do, the next steps that you need to take. So there are resources on your installation. Definitely do that. You want to GTGG. And what that means is get to Googling, girl. Or guy, I don't discriminate. You could be a male military spouse or whatever. Just get to Googling. That's what I do. As soon as we find out where we're going, I am looking up all kinds of information. Let me find out about that installation. If I know the unit that my husband's going to, let me see if I can find a Facebook page and kind of see what they're all about. Let me search the cities that surround that installation. Are there good parts? Are there parts I want to stay away from? Are there multiple school districts? Maybe I want my child in a specific school district. What kind of activities are available there? Where is the nearest Target? Where is the nearest Hobby Lobby? Where is the nearest Costco? What is the cost of gas in that area? Because we have an SUV. I need to know all of these things so that I can create our budget for that next duty station. So again, GTGG, get to Googling, girl, and just start compiling all of that information. You're going to want to print a PCS binder. Shameless plug right here. I am creating a PCS binder for myself, and then I am also willing to share with you. So that will be coming up in a couple of videos, but it's going to have all kinds of information in there. Like I said, checklist, budget printables, just kind of some information that you want to keep in mind as far as records that you need to get from your military installation. Just a whole bunch of things, right? It helps to stay organized. You want a PCS binder. So again, look for an upcoming video regarding creating your own PCS binder, because that will be coming very soon. So that's kind of just a quick overview of what to expect when you have PCS orders. Like I said, in 2 weeks, you can count on it, 2 weeks, I will have a 6-month checklist. And so that is the things that you need to start thinking about, start taking care of when you are 6 months away from your report date. And so that will have a printable for you. It will have a lot of information. So I hope that you do check it out. I hope that if you liked this video and you found it helpful, that you will give it a thumbs up. I hope that you will subscribe, because I would love for you to join my tribe, and definitely ask any questions that you may have below in the comments. With all of that being said, I look forward to talking to you. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great day, guys. Later, loves.